Hi my friends, welcome back. We are Yourfastcode. On this video we will talk about 7 reasons to become a programmer. Steve Jobs said in an interview that everybody in this country should learn how to program a computer because it teaches you how to think. Truer words have never been spoken, and whether you are looking to learn to program for fun or whether you want to improve your skill set and job prospects, you can do no better than to learn how to program. Computer programming is one of the most flexible tools that you can have at your disposal. Not only can you learn to do things that are pretty amazing, but you can also, sometimes, manage to perform the impossible. Anyone that uses a computer, a smartphone, even a key that remotely unlocks your car door is using some form of computer programming, and your life already depends on programming to a certain extent. Everyone's lives are already being run and ruled by software, so why not learn to program and get involved? Create your own programs to do what you want them to do. For example, what if you receive tons of emails daily on your smartphone or computer and just didn't have time to respond to them all? You could create a program that did it for you, sending an automatic response without you even needing to see the emails. You could program specific messages for specific contacts. You could actually do pretty much what you wanted. But don't make the mistake of thinking that learning how to program will put you in the position of building the next big social media app or the next file sharing app. Go back in time a little and look at the big websites: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Dropbox, etc. They came into being because someone identified a need, a gap in the market that needed to be filled. Just because you learn to program it doesn't mean that you need to solve all the problems in the world. What you can do is learn how to solve your own problems. Here are 7 of the very best reasons why you should learn to program today. 1. Develop a more creative and structured way of thinking. When a computer programmer is given a problem that needs solving, they don't begin to write program code right off the bat. No problem is ever solved in that way. First, it must be broken down into smaller, more manageable chunks, and then each one tackled as its own problem, a part of the whole. Most non-programmers will not do this, not with any problem. They will attempt to solve the problem as a whole, and on most occasions, they are doomed to failure. When you begin to learn how to program, you also learn a new way of tackling problems. A more structured way, and your brain begins to be programmed to deal with each problem as several smaller ones. Your thinking becomes more creative and logical, and this doesn't apply to your coding, it applies to your whole life. 2. Be the envy of everyone. Regardless of how hard you try to brush aside your newfound skills, others will be envious of you. You will be able to do something special, something clever. You can sit there and write a new game or an app in your spare time. They can't. This is not jealousy. Most people understand the real power of a computer, and for you to be able to write programs that do things makes you pretty powerful too. Every now and again, a friend might ask you to do something for free, perhaps build a website or an app for their business. Keep in mind that computer programming is not a game. It is a real job, and you should treat any requests as such, no matter who is doing the asking. On the other hand, people might ask you to help them learn how to program, and this is a great opportunity for you to build up some extra skills as well. It will help, of course, if you are both writing in the same language, unless you have gone the extra mile and learned more than one. 3. Make your life easier. Learning how to become a programmer will teach you that even a few simple lines of code can do so much to make life easier for you. If something will only work when a few buttons are pushed, program your smartphone to do it with one tap. If you do a job where your repeat input is required, let's say forms online where you need to fill in the same details over and over, write a program that does it all for you. One click and all those forms could be filled in automatically. Write programs that help you with complicated work on Excel sheets. Perhaps you need to add the contents from 3 columns together and then find the average. You might need to do this several times a day, and that is not only boring but it is labor intensive. One small program that does all these functions for you could be your savior. Not just in time and effort but in sanity as well. What about chess? Do you play it on your smartphone or tablet? How can that piece of machinery, that thing you make phone calls on, be so much smarter than you, a living, breathing human being? Because that is how it is programmed to make the correct move on any move that could possibly be made during a game of chess. The same applies to all games on your mobiles or on your desktop. By using programming, you too can make life much simpler for yourself. Learn persistence. When you begin to learn how to program, you begin to see all problems in the light of their solutions, and your brain begins to function in that way. When you have learned how to program and you face a problem, you begin to see the possible solutions, and you may, if you are lucky, begin to see some good results. It really doesn't matter how hard a problem you face. You will become determined to solve it, and you will find yourself being turned into an individual who is driven by solutions. Computer programmers need to be logical thinkers when it comes to problems. When you learn how to write computer code, you will start to face other day-to-day situations that were previously difficult to face. You begin to be persistent in finding a way around or through a problem, and your patience increases because you know that there will be a solution somewhere and at some time. You just need to put in that little extra effort in the same way that you do when you write a program. Run it, debug it, rinse and repeat for as often as it takes to get it right. Computer programming is very powerful, and even learning just the basics could help you to learn the patience and persistence you need in other areas of your life. 4. An amazing career. This is probably one of the very best reasons to become a computer programmer. There are so many jobs available to you. The world is turning digital. We are increasingly becoming more reliant as a society on technology, and as a result, there are more and more computer programming jobs to choose from, and this will not change in the foreseeable future. You could use your newfound skills to complement the work that you do already, or you could use it in other ways. If you were an accountant, for example, you could write a program that would make certain aspects of your job, like accounts analysis, far easier to do. If you wanted to be a novelist, you could create a program that would help your novel or book to be an interactive one, giving your readers that little extra. Maybe you want to design your own app and market it, or become a website designer. Both of these and other jobs like them require you to have some background and experience in computer programming. As many other industries begin their decline, computer programming is enjoying a huge period of growth and expansion in almost every area of our lives. If you can write computer programs, you are eminently employable, or you could just start your own business. Once you are employed in the computer programming industry, once you have a good basis and perhaps more importantly, a good reputation, you can be your own boss, pick and choose which jobs you want to do. Think about that one, being able to decide your own future. Building truly great programs will help you to build great customer relationships and put you in line for headhunting by bigger and better companies. You could also become a freelance computer programmer, have the opportunity to work from home, in your pajamas, from any hotel anywhere in the world, or even in the local internet cafe. Remote working gives you the freedom to choose your own hours and your own office. Computer programming also gives you the opportunity to earn a high salary, upwards of $70 to $80,000 or more. 5. Think like a programmer. When you can think like a computer programmer does, you will start relating that to your real life. Most people will not be able to see the connection, let alone understand it, but you will, when you start learning to program. Have you ever heard a term mentioned, pragmatic programming? All it means is that you learn to use a more direct approach to making decisions, not just in programming but in real-life situations as well. By learning how to program, you learn how to be more efficient at solving problems. Think back to the last point, the music files or the photos that you wanted to rename or sort. Did you do it, or did you decide it was just too difficult? What about any other tricky situations you have faced in the past? When you begin thinking like a programmer does, complicated and difficult jobs will become simple. 6. Being control. Computers are a huge part of our lives, and, to a large extent, we couldn't live without them anymore. Whether we like it or not. The age of technology is here, but do you know how to really be in control of your computer? Would you believe me if I told you that learning how to be a programmer could put you in the position of being able to make your computer do exactly what you wanted it to do? These days, computer programming is used more and more to automate tasks that are repetitive or that would take a human too much time to accomplish. Let's say you have more than 10,000 photos or 10,000 music tracks on your computer and you want to sort them or rename each file. Think of the work involved in that, and then think about how easy it would be if you could just write one little program that would take care of all of it for you. You control your computer. Tell it what to do, and that puts you back in control of your own life. And that moves us to the next reason to learn how to program. 7. Learn a new language. Computer programming is way more than just writing a few lines of code. There are so many computer programming languages to choose from, and each one has the exact same primary goal: to make something for a computer. The more common computer programming languages include Python, C, Ruby, Java, JavaScript, SQL, PHP, and Haskell. But once you have learned how to program, you can even write your own programming language. In the same way that German is different to Italian, so each of the program languages is different too. Although many do share some of the same traits, compare that to the number of French words found in English, for example. Which language you learn is entirely personal to you and will depend on your ultimate goals, so choose wisely.